So, my tattoo. Alright, so an incident happened. Not so much an incident, but more of like just a general rule. So, I was at work and one of my coworkers come up to me and he's like, oh, is that? He's like, oh, what is that? And he just goes and puts his whole hand on my tattoo. Now, granted, at this point, my tattoo, I just got this done. It's like 72, maybe 48, 72 hours, something like that. 48 to 72 hours after I got it done. So the thing is still healing, right? And all of a sudden I looked and then he's like, oh my god, I didn't know that it was brand new. I'm like, and it kind of dawned on me just real quick. Like, I got a little irritated because it's like, not once have I ever went up to somebody and to just grab their tattoo. Like, that doesn't work. Like, if you want to, here's the thing. If you want to ever look at somebody's tattoo or something like that, just ask them, because I guarantee you they're going to be more than happy to let you, look at it. That's what I see people all the time looking at it, and there's only been one incident where this older lady, like, okay, so this older lady comes up, and I was like, you know, can I help you find anything? And she's like, no, she looks like that. She's like, no, she's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, alright, well, and then like they say, like, oh, if there's anything that, you know, I can help you find, let me know, I'll be able to help you out. Like, no more than, like, a couple, probably less than 30 seconds later, someone else come up and they're like, oh, can you help me find it? Can I help you find anything? And this lady was like, oh, I need help finding something. And it just, at this point, it doesn't blow my mind. This was last year. This was like sometime last year when I first started getting it. Like, when I didn't have like the full shading or anything, but it just dawned on me that, well, not really dawned, but it's more like just the ignorance of what people give when they get like tattoos. Like, oh, you know, here's a dumb kid who's probably a high school graduate, probably does drugs, you know, he's got a tattoos, think he's cool and tough, and it's nothing like that. First of all, I graduated high school, I graduated college, I have a full-time job, I live on my own, I have my own car, I pay my own bills. The only reason I got this tattoo, and I'm gonna get more, is because they mean something. And that's where, like, the older generation, and I'm gonna flat out say it, anybody that's probably like 50 or older probably looks at people like me, or people generally like me, who have tattoos, and they're like, well, he's just some dumb motherfucker. And I'm not saying that's everybody over, like, at least the age of 15, but I've noticed a good portion of them is just so ignorant to the world that it's like, oh, like, they don't understand that the world is changing. Like, it's a different generation from where they were, right? Like, my work has said nothing about my tattoo. Absolutely nothing. And the only thing that they say is, oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's nice. As long as it doesn't offend you, why do you give a shit? Like, that's the thing. Like, it just bothers me that people are like, oh, well, I don't like tattoos. Well, why don't you like tattoos? Well, I just don't like them. What has tattoos ever done to you? Nothing, right? So, you know, and that's the other thing. Like, I can't stand, like, I don't mind, like, if I was dating a girl and she liked me, but then I got a tattoo and she didn't like me, that's some real ignorant shit. Because that just proves to me that you didn't really like that person in the first place. This should no longer affect, this right here shouldn't affect your personality, right? It shouldn't affect how you feel about somebody, right? Everybody has flaws, but something like this that means something to me, and then you're going to go and say like, oh, I don't like it. Well, man, you know what? You don't like it because the simple fact is that it doesn't represent you. It has nothing to do with you, so you're more, yeah, sure, you're more inclined to hate on it. But at the same time, it's like, every time you hate on somebody's tattoo, it means something to somebody, right? Like, it could mean like a death, you know, somebody died, you know, somebody's going through some shit, you know, they got matching death, whatever it is. Like, just don't offend people with their tattoos. Now, granted, if it's like a fucking, like, swastika or Nazi symbol or some real racial shit, like, go ahead and judge that shit, because that's just some real ignorant shit. But I mean, somebody who has tattoos and they mean something to that person, probably not the best idea to go and say, well, that's really stupid. And I could turn around and say, well, thanks. You know what? You call my tattoo stupid? Well, you also call my dead grandma stupid, for an example, right? So it's going to make them feel bad. And I would just walk away and be like, oh, your tattoo, what's that, tattoo? Oh, that's stupid. I'm like, oh, well, thanks. It represents my dead grandma and everyone that died in my family from, some horrible disease or whatever. Yeah, thanks for offending me. Fuck you. Right? And just walk away because they're not gonna know. So, it's one of the perks, and it's also a perk, but it's also one of those things where it's like, you're gonna have to deal with it, you're just gonna have to deal with people just judging you because you got tattoos. Like, I don't know, it's one of those things I'm like ranting on. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.